Hi there, it's Connie-Rae. Welcome to Connie-Rae's Craft Room and welcome to today's project, which is this Christmas card. Isn't it lovely? Very different, I know. And it's really hard to probably see how wonderful it really is when you've got cameras. But when you do it yourself, you will see that it's just so pretty. And it's one that you send out to someone special. So I'm going to show you how to make it. All the products are Stampin' Up, and I'll include the links down the bottom in the show more information area, so you can go in and you can purchase any of these products, so you can get in and make this card. But the other thing, the only thing I did want to mention is these words, dies, are not from Stampin' Up. You can get them, I'm sure. All right, let me put it this way. Stampin' Up do have some. I've got so many of these word dies that I want to use the ones I have. Stampin' Up do have some, and I'll show you how to, I'll tell you, I should say. They've got some on in the holiday catalogue, which has just been released. There's a Cheers die, which is 58. There's Jolly Seasons die, which is page 25. And there's Word Wishes, which is in the annual catalogue, and that's page 197, and well written. Annual catalogue, page 197. I'll include these links down the bottom so that you can go in and you can see some dies that have words. You can go in and use any dies for words. I've just got a stack that I have purchased previously, and I really don't use them, and I really do want to use them. This is a gorgeous one. This is the one that we're using today. This says Merry Christmas, and as you can see, it's nice and chunky. It's really lovely. It's a great size, fills up the card, and this is from Poppy Stamps. So there are craft suppliers here in Australia other than Stampin' Up. Excuse me. You just have to check, some sites out. Check eBay, check Crafts Online, check ATC Crafts. There's quite a few. And the other ones I do use is Birch Press Design. Is it? Yeah, Birch Press Design. And they've got these gorgeous dies as well. These ones are just as nice. I love these. They're really big. They fit onto a card quite nicely. So as you can see, they really do fill up a nice chunky space. So sometimes you don't really know how to use icons, and we don't really know how to place icons. So sometimes words are just as nice, and there is ways that we can use them to make them look really pretty. So I'm going to show you how to make this, keeping in mind that you need to get your word dies. But as I said, I'll use the links below. I'll put some links in below to the ones that you can use. From Stampin' Up, because at the end of the day, they're all the same. The dies with the words, they're just different designers and different shapes and sizes, but they will work just as well. And I'll show you how to make them thicker, so that when they on the card they stand out. I could actually make these thicker, I think, and make them stand out more. But that's another story. Okay, so where do we start? Okay, the card itself is 8.5 in length by 5.5. Oh, let me bring that up. Okay, 8.5 in length, and it is 5.5 in width, and it's scored in the middle at 4.25. Okay, so you need a card that size, and then you need a mat, which is going to be 4.25 by 5.5, because we're going to decorate this and make our background. And you need another little piece as well, which is about this size, because we're going to do some ornate work, and I'm going to use, you can see here, there is some lovely ornate work on the corners there that I've done. And we're going to do the same thing to both of these cards and create a background using the same technique. And we're going to cut these out with a ornate die, and I'll show you that shortly. But for now, we just start the background, and this is what you do for both cards. So we're going to do some embossing. So we're going to need our embossing body, definitely going to need our embossing body. And we're going to go over our piece of cardstock, both pieces of cardstock, because you've got the little one here, don't forget, that we're going to be doing. All right. And then we're going to use some Versamark, and we are going to use our, let me see, our Snowflake stamp. And our Snowflake stamp comes from the Frosted Foliage stamp, which is currently in the holiday catalogue, which is live now, finally, and it is gorgeous. It's actually really lovely, especially if you use it like this and create this gorgeous background with it. Lovely stamp set. I've done a couple of card designs using this one. love it to pieces. So we're going to be doing some embossing, so we're going to use our Versamark on our stamp. You can use your Stampin' if you want. For this particular background, we're going to be going all over the stamp, the card. You can do it either freehand, like I'm doing on a block, or you can, if you're really good with your Stampin', you can move it around and use it. Up to you which way you go. I prefer to do it this way. It is going to be impossible to see this part of the actual tutorial because it's white on white. We're going to be using white embossing powder. You will see it when I add the blue colour. So for now, it's even hard to see when you're doing it yourself. So I'll show you the way that I do it and see if it helps. So just try and remember your placing to a degree and just go around your card and stamp it down. Don't be afraid to move the shape around because the more snowflakes you've got, the better. Try and keep an eye out where you've actually added your stamp, even though it's going to be really, really hard to see. You can see fractions of it, but on camera you are not going to see it, unless there's some magical technique that I haven't heard about. Okay, so what I'll do now, before I add any more in, I'm going to get my embossing powder and I'm going to pop it onto the actual Versamark so that I can see where it's gone. And you will see some of it, but you won't see as clearly as you would expect it to see, to be able to see it, I should say. As you can see, if I hold it like that, you can see that where it's been stamped so far. So there's this couple of spots that I need to catch up on. So let me get it. There you go. So there's a little spot here that's vacant, and there's a little spot over here. So I'll go in and add a little bit more Versamark. Sorry, this tutorial is going to be a little bit longer than the normal because it is a little bit techniquey. There's a lot going on, but it's certainly worth it, I think. And then I might just get another little stamp. This one is out of the Dashing Deer collection, which was last year's Christmas stamp. And I'm going to use this little star dot thing here, flower I should say. Last year's, it's still available along with the dies in the shop. So you can use this one as well. I love this one. I love this deer. It's beautiful. So I'm just going to use him to fill in a few spots that I may have missed. And I might just do a little bit more of the embossing just to see where I'm at, to see if I've got a good coverage on the cardstock. And as you can see, let me just get that on an angle, see, it's covered quite well. So there's a little spot there, and that's about it, I think. So maybe that little spot there, and maybe over, oh, hang on. No, I've covered that one. I haven't put any embossing powder on it. That's what it is. I have done the little spot there. So I've just got, yeah, it's pretty well covered. I'm just going to put something there, and it should be good. So at this point in time, you can probably turn on your embossing gun while you've got this, adding this embossing powder, because you want it to be nice and hot. Okay, so I've covered that, as you can see. Let me get it into the right. There we go. So you can see it's covered in snowflakes. Beautiful. I'm happy with that. Stamping creates such gorgeous backgrounds, and you do your own designer series paper. That's my favourite part of stamping, doing my own thing. Okay, so I have got, don't forget you needed to do this one as well. So you needed to do two. I'm just going to move my embossing powder out of the way, because it will drive me insane. And we are going to emboss. So I'm going to put my heat gun on, so it's going to be a bit noisy, but that's okay. You want it to be really hot before you bring it to your cardstock, because you want it to be effective on the embossing powder straight away, rather than having it sit and waiting for it to warm up, because what it will do is it will melt the embossing powder, and it will also warp the card stock, so it's not a very good look. So you don't want to do that. And I don't want to bring my heat gun to this piece of paper here, because it will warp the paper as well. So I'm just going to take it off camera, and I will bring in a few other things while I'm doing that, while it's heating up. I like to leave it for a few minutes if possible. So I'm just going to take this off because it's going to warp my paper. So hopefully you do know how to emboss and holding the gun. And everybody's gun's a little bit, you know, like you've got your own gun and you've got your own method of it. I can bring it in and show you, but you're probably not going to be able to see it without it warping the paper. And because it's white, it's really hard to see, so that's okay. We'll get there. I don't know if you can see that. You can't really, but you can see it's different now. Ow. It does get very hot. Funny that. There we go. Just got to get a good grip on it. This heat gun is very old. I've had it for centuries, I think. Actually, I don't know how many years I've had it, but it still works fine. It's just really old. It's an old style gun. I like the nozzles that they've got on some of the new ones. Stampin'Up's got a really good one, because the nozzle directs the heat, I think, a little bit differently. This is a far more, this is like a blow dryer style one. Not that you could use it as a blow dryer, you'd be in trouble. Okay, so that's my embossing done. And of course, you're not going to be able to see it too well, if at all. But that's the embossing. Okay, so it didn't warp the paper too badly. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do, you know me, those who follow me regularly know that I dislike that feeling of embossing powder. Ew, drives me insane. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is add some colour. Now, we are going to be using our gorgeous Seaside spray, beautiful colour, and I'm actually using one of these brushes. Now, these are called life-changing brushes if you get them from the company who is an art company, and I'm not sure who they are, but these ones I actually got in Target. Hey, how's that? I think they're makeup brushes, but they work fine. So, and they're really easy to use, and they make blending really easy and fun, which is great. So they work well for me. So I would recommend them if you can find them in Target. So what we're going to do is we're going to just dab our colour, and we're going to bring it in onto our card. And this is how I like to use them. So hopefully you'll find, you know, if you manage to find them, people, I think they're very expensive, I think. Well, I don't know. I don't know how much they are in from the art stores and stuff like that. They're called life-changing brushes, I think. I'm not really sure. But I just found them. I read somewhere on Facebook that somebody saw them in Kmart. So I thought, oh, I can't have a look. And I did, and there they were. And they were like $12 or something. It was just amazing. So I thought, yep, they will do. And if they don't work for my craft, they'll work for my makeup. And they work perfectly for my craft. So I'm happy. And as you can see, blending with them is just a dream. It's so easy. So So if you've ever had blending problems before, and what I mean by blending problems is this one. A lot of people use this one. You've got the sponge daubers as well. I'm not sure, but I don't know, they're just really hard. These brushes make things a little bit easier. And I'm sure that, you know, they'll become a standard staple in all the crafty people will bring them into their supplies, including Stampin' Up. So a bit more time. Okay. They just make blending such a dream. Depending on how dark you want this, it's entirely up to you. It is a gorgeous baby blue, but it really does make a beautiful wintry card because it's the perfect blue for that. Now you can go on the snowflakes here and you can just make them a little darker if you just go around on that area like that. Just make the major snowflakes, the big ones, just a little bit darker, like so. It's up to you. And then just blend it all in. And as you can see, it's coming alive. Now you need to do this for both of your cards that you've done, because don't forget you're doing the little one to do the ornate work as well. I think that's okay. What do you think? There you go. That looks looks gorgeous. Beautiful colours. Okay, so that's done. So the next thing we're going to be doing is we are going old school. We're going to be using this one. And we are going to be popping on the frost white. And I'm going to go over the top of this with the frost white so that we have got a lovely shimmer on top. I'm just going to pour it onto an acrylic block. You can take this off with alcohol wipe and the stays on white stuff. Oh, I'm running out. Shock horror, I need to get some more. Okay, just a little bit on there. And I'm just going to dab this and I'm just going to blend it in. You don't need too much, but just enough to give it a sheen. It actually tones down the blue and makes that. I'll see if I can show you half and half. Yeah, you're probably not going to see it too well. Yeah, pretty hard with the cameras. But you'll see it in real life when you do it, and you'll be grateful and happy that you did. Okay. And that is all you really need to do. It's giving it a really lovely sheen. And you need to do that on both pieces of cardstock. So once we've done that, I'll put these out of the way. We then move on to the next stage. And we're going to take our frame and we're going to cut out our card and we're going to make the frame like so. We're using the biggest frame that there is in the framelit set. And we're going to cut it out like that. So I've obviously gone ahead and done that. Actually, I like this one better, the background better on that one. It just looks a little bit more, yeah, I don't know. Ah, they're all right. They're both good. Okay, that'll do. So we've got those out of the way. And our card. Lovely. All right, so the next thing that I have done is obviously as I've been saying to you, reminding you to do this one. So you just go now over to your Big Shot, and with your Big Shot, with the Dashing Deers there that were in last year's annual catalogue and are still in this annual catalogue, there is some dies that come with these, and the dies are called Detailed Deer dies. And with that die set, you got the whole stack of dies that cut out all these beautiful deers, including, let me just grab these little ones as well, which are like little ornate corners. And I have gone ahead, as you know, and done the same thing and cut these out, and we've got this little impression of our background on our dies, cutouts. And I've cut 4, 1 for each corner. There we go. There they are there. Again, you're not going to be able to see them as lovely as they are in real life, that's for sure, but they make the card just look a little bit nicer. So those are the ones that we're using for our corners, but we're not going to add them just yet, but we will put them here. And what else are we going to do? Right, we are going to put on our ribbon, and I have used, what have I used? This ribbon here, and I have used the Seaside Spray metallic ribbon. Yeah, that's what it's called. So you need some pieces of metallic, Seaside Spray metallic ribbon, and you need a 4-inch in length, and you need a, let me see, 5 1/4. So on the long side you've got the 5 1/4, on the edges you've got the 4-inch, and that's how we go. So we're going to put this on the back of the card so that we've got this little trim going around the edge. It's probably hard to see there, but it is there. So I'm going to show you how to do that. So we're just going to flip our card over. I've got some tear and tape, and I'm just going to run it across the edge of the card on all 4 sides. My scissors. You can use paper for this too, but I liked the ribbon because it's got this lovely metallic kind of look, and it goes really well with the card, I think. So, and years ago we used to always put ribbon with double-sided tape. It was like when it was in, it was so popular. Some time ago now. Okay, so, here's my little frames. Let me see, we're going to take this off. Oh, just need our pick. Take these 4 pieces off. Okay, and we're going to add on, just on the edge, our, I'll start from this side, I think, be easier, our ribbon. Try and make sure it's straight, but if it's not, you can always take it off and do it again, just like so. Whoop, that was a bit silly, wasn't it? Okay, look, there we go. It is a little bit hard to get straight, but you can do it. But that's why I use the frames as well, on the ornate frames, just to cover up any mistakes that you can see. So it's all good. So we're just putting it on the back, and we're going to go in and just trim it all off. Hopefully it's all even. Oop, that one's not. We'll do that one again. I don't know if I really did a good job with that, but anyway, let's have a quick squeeze at that. I've taken it down too far. You don't want to take it down too far like I've done. There you go. And a little bit hanging over the edge. So we're just going to trim off those bits that don't look quite right. Okay, so we've now got a little bit more Seaside spray happening, and we're going to pop on our little frames, and our frames will go from the corners, so any anomalies you see you'll be able to hide, but there isn't that many and you won't see them. So we're just using a little bit of glue. Tombow will be fine to stick down. And just stick onto the biggest parts that there are on the little ornate frame, or the little ornate pieces. Okay. And we've got 4 of those. I should have some music or something playing, I think. Or I should pause. Okay. Okay. I think I will pause while I finish this off to hold, so you don't have to wait too long. Okay, so I am back and I have fixed up my card. I wasn't happy with a few things, so I've taken the opportunity to fix it. So now we're going to go into putting our sentiment together. I have done Christmas already, and I will just pop it here. And I have also cut out the Merry, as you know. And what I've done is 2 white cardstock, whisper white, thick whisper white cardstock cutouts of Merry, and then the 3rd cutout is actually using our gorgeous, what do we call it, frosted, feels like frost designer series paper. And I have used, which one have I used? You could use any one of these using the silver side. I'm just trying to work out which one it was I used. I've left the cutout bits. Oh, here it is. Here it is. Okay. Look, let me just grab it. So you cut out your words as you would normally through your die cutting system, and then you put them together just to thicken them up a bit. I used this one for Merry Christmas, as you can see. I did initially use that one. Sorry, I did initially use this one, but then I moved over to, there's a white and silver. It's silver on white and white on silver options. So initially I have done that, and then I've gone back over to the white because I preferred to be able to see, I preferred the look of that, but you know, you can do whatever you like really. So I'm just going to glue these together now. I've already glued the Christmas together, and again, like I was saying before, you can probably put as many layers as you want here to make it look thicker. So for example, when this is the original card, so if I was to take these cutouts here, which has got 3 plus the actual silver one on top, you'll see how it will improve the dimension a little bit more. So, and that would be with 6 cutouts. So sometimes if you just add more, you're going to have a nice, that's not glued down so it doesn't look too pretty, but yeah, adding dimension is important. So I've just, as I said, I've done 2 Merry, and then so it's 3 altogether. But I would think that oh, actually, sorry, I'm getting carried away. My anxiety is coming up tonight. Okay, so we're just going to put that there, and I'm going to pop this Merry about there. So what I'm going to do is pop the Merry down first, and I just need, no, it should be all right. I was going to use my ruler, but up there it is. Okay, just so I've got it straight. And I found this is the easiest way. So put your first layer down. I found this is, for me, this is the easiest way. Is that straight? It didn't look straight on the camera. Okay, all right. It's just very fiddly, but it's worth doing. Like I said, it's a special card. Special for the person who's receiving it. All right, so we're going to pop that down. And this particular Christmas font is a little bit wonky. It's supposed to be wonky. It's not supposed to be completely straight. So if you look at it and you think, oh, what's going on there? It's supposed to be like that. A little bit of glue there. That's all right. We'll use the glue remover later. And just line it up the way you want it. The beauty of glue is that we have the opportunity to straighten things. When we can. There we go. So we're just going to pop Mary down. I'm just going to use my glue remover rubber just to get rid of that excess glue there. It should come off fairly well. Okay, and then I'm going to pop, let me just, where's my Christmas? There's my Christmas there. Yep, that should look good. Okay, right, so we're going to pop, I found this easiest to lay that one down and then add the glue to that one once you've got it on. You don't need a lot of glue. You've got to be careful because it will spill over. As you can see, I've done that a bit there. So then we're just going to pop the next Mary on. And just use your stylus to straighten it if you need to, so that it's all in alignment. Just dab that glue a bit, get rid of it. And of course, you know, if you wanted to use a darker option, see, if you used our blue designer series paper, you will see that it's actually going to show up more. So you could do that too, or you could use, you know, any color you want. I just like the look of this, and it will look nice once you've made it. On camera, it doesn't look as good. It's really shiny, but it's very nice. It's very pretty in real life. So the last layer, which is the third layer, and of course, as I said, you can put more on if you want. My glue's not coming out. There we go. I found this the easiest way to do it, rather than, I don't know, you get it in your hands and it's like really difficult to, especially if there's lots of letters. Because this looks like it's got, well, it has got foil through it, and it's got this lovely effect. There we go. So if you wanted to pop it aside, you could and let it set a bit. But as you can see how it's very pretty. Okay, so we're going to put Christmas underneath, and I've done this the opposite way where I've added it together, and it was really kind of difficult and sticky. So I find it putting it down, the one layer down at a time, is actually easier in terms of manageability. So we'll just put some here. We'll go around just on the largest spots of the letters is probably the easiest, and on the tips of the letters. Okay, So we'll just pop this one on. I didn't use my ruler, but it doesn't look too bad. Yeah, there we go. All right, so that's your card front. Merry Christmas. Isn't it cute? It is lovely. Okay, so we've got all that little fiddly bits out of the way. So now we'll just put our card together. So we've got our card base. So we need to use some dimensionals to pop it up. And we're going to put some bling, shall we? Yes, we need to put bling. I've used the Christmas, yes I have. I've used the Holiday Rhinestone Basic Jewel Collection. Oh, I'll just get that out, which is this one here. And I used these gorgeous light green ones. Well, actually they're not light green, they're light blue. Actually, do they say what colours they come in? I don't think they do. Oh, maybe they do on the back. No, they don't. Okay, and then put a couple on our little, oh, there you go, on our little rind, on our little snowflakes. There we go. Which makes it look really cute. Okay, one there. And one over there. Okay, my bling always looks different every time I do a card, which is fine. I think it looks good. Okay, that's enough. Otherwise I could put bling on forever and a day. I know I could. Alright, now the last bit is to add some dimensionals, and I need the bigger ones here. Oh, this will do because I've got the I'll use what's left of this one. So at this point in time, I would like to say thank you very much for being patient with me. I was all over the shop a bit tonight, what I felt I was, so I do apologise. And oh, there we go. I need one more here. Big dimensionals, yes. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. I enjoyed making it. I like making it and find it relaxing, but when I don't relax, I don't get it right, it's not fun. So make sure you're doing it with a nice glass of wine and relax and enjoy making Christmas cards with your friends today, this season, because it is fun, especially once you've got these gorgeous results. Once you've got the results in your hand, you think, oh, and then you start experimenting with more. So there you go. So please do like, share, subscribe. Thank you very much for joining me, and please hit the bell button so that you will get notified when I upload a new tutorial. And what else is there to say? All the links will be provided down the bottom because the catalogue is now live, the Christmas catalogue, the holiday catalogue. Americans call it holiday catalogue, Australians call it Christmas catalogue. So, all good. Yes, so all the links will be included down the bottom, so go ahead and have a browse, enjoy yourself. This is what they all look like, and of course they're different, but that's good. Oh, there we go. They're different because they're handmade, and that's what makes them nice. So I really do hope you enjoy this tutorial. You give it a go, and give this to someone really special for Christmas. I'm sure they're going to love it. It is really, really fun, and it's really, really pretty. So I like all of those techniques that I've used, and you can vary those techniques. Just give them a play, give them a whirl. It's fun doing your own backgrounds, and you don't have to rely on designer series paper. You can use words, you can use images, you can use whatever. It's really a lot of fun doing your own stuff, just stamping away. So thank you very much. Do take care, and I'll see you next time with a new tutorial. And until then, please do like, share and subscribe, and I'll talk to you soon. Thanks for joining me. Bye for now.